Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Grey-Hawkins, and I am very excited to join you virtually today. I am the Business and Communications Specialist in Anne Arundel County Public Schools, and I work in the Department of Partnerships, Development, and Marketing. A large part of my job focuses on sharing stories and campaigns about the people and programs in Anne Arundel County and the opportunities that we have in the school system that really make the school system unique. I am also a member of the Towson University School Library cohort and hope to be graduating at the end of the summer. I am very excited today to share some of the strategies that I use on a regular basis for marketing things that are going on in the school system, and I hope that you'll be able to take some of the ideas and apply them to your own current or future school libraries. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Before we dive into our presentation, I want to clarify that I am not a marketing expert. I'm not going to be talking about SWOT analyses or brand recognition, but what I can share are some of the strategies and processes I use every day to help schools and programs effectively engage with their students, staff, and community. To develop this presentation, I tapped into Kathy Sims and Shelley Davenport, who are both former media specialists who now work in my Department of Partnerships, Development, and Marketing. A lot of what I will share tonight comes out of their firsthand experience that they had in their own media centers. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and jump in. The American Association of School Librarians defines advocacy as the ongoing process of building partnerships so that others will act for and with you, turning passive support into educated action for the library program. I really like this definition because it focuses on the ongoing process of building relationships, which really directly ties into effective marketing. Often we think about marketing as promoting a one-time thing. You have an event and you want participants to come, so you use marketing to spread the word and find people to show up. But in reality, you're really marketing your program every time someone steps into your library and every time you sit down in a meeting. My goal today is to share some information and strategies that you can apply to what you're already doing in a slightly more strategic way. In this presentation, we're going to talk about the importance of sharing your why, how to get to know your audience, how to reach your audience, how to build a marketing plan, and some quick tips for visual designs that I always like to share. I'll be sharing my contact information at the end of the presentation, so please feel free to follow up with me on any questions or ideas that you might want to have or share. We're going to start with the concept of finding and sharing your why. Simon Sinek, who is a bit of an advertising guru, said that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. He developed a model of marketing that he calls the golden circle. This model is based on the idea that nobody will really care what you do or how you do it until they understand why you do it. And this idea is one that we bring up all the time when we talk about marketing in our office and in the school system. Looking at this model, most traditional marketing is done from the outside in. As an example, here's a traditional vision statement that we could have for any school library in our county. Our library media program is teaching students critical thinking, research skills, and a love of reading. We do this by providing access to extensive text and online resources with trained staff ready to assist with any questions. Stop by and see what we are all about. As educators, this probably sounds familiar because we have a tendency to talk like this all the time. And there's nothing wrong with it. We spend so much time doing the what of our jobs that we want to talk about it. This is especially true in the library, where we're so often trying to defend the validity and importance of the work we do on a daily basis. The problem with this approach, though, is that it doesn't capture what makes our profession unique. Yes, we're building critical thinking skills, but every effective teacher should be doing that. Yes, we provide access to resources, but so are some classroom level teachers. They can do that too. When we start with our what, we end up obscuring why the library and qualified school librarians are really important. Sinek, on the other hand, argues that most successful companies, and these are companies like Apple, market from the inside out. Let's take a look at another example of a vision statement that uses Sinek's approach. We're preparing students for a world that doesn't exist yet. We're igniting an excitement for reading and learning in a technology-rich environment filled with opportunities to research, explore, and share new information. Stop by the library to see what we're all about. This version doesn't make any of the what from our traditional approach any less true or less important, but it puts the emphasis on why we do all that work, and as a result, really creates a more emotional response. In marketing, that emotional response leads to action. Just think about the last time you bought something impulsively just because it felt good. I don't believe that education is or should be considered a business or use a business approach, but as media specialists, we are selling products. We have resources for students and teachers, we have expertise for curriculum development and support, and we have knowledge of research strategies and information literacy that we want others to take from us. If we want to engage our schools in what we have to offer, we want to create an emotional response that makes students and colleagues want to join our team and be a part of what we have. Even among school librarians, the why is going to be slightly different for everyone. But once you figure out what the why is for you at your school, it should drive everything you do, from your mission and vision statement to your library policies, the way you ask others to engage with your program. Once you have identified your why behind your program, you can start to think about how you will target your message to your audience. Here are a few questions you should be asking yourself whenever you're thinking about marketing. Beginning with who. Who are you trying to reach? This is the first question I ask whenever I meet to discuss a new project. Who are you trying to get to use a new resource? Who should be attending an event? Who are you trying to share information about your program with? Our default answer is usually everyone, but I'd really challenge you to figure out who is your primary audience for the information you want to share right now. Once you figure out who, ask yourself what is important to this audience at this point in time. What will motivate them and this unique group to action? Next, think about why this event, program, initiative, or opportunity is important to this audience. Why should they care about what you're doing? And more importantly, why should they care enough to get involved? Finally, ask yourself, why is their engagement important to you? This answer should be linked back to your why and will drive the way that you reach out to your audience. This is also where you can start to think about the goals of your marketing strategy. What are you hoping to get out of your marketing in general? Once you've identified your audience, think about how you can adapt your message to be relevant to each group of people that you're trying to reach. In my job, I often work with offices who want to share information about a program with everyone. But it's important to remember that picking one audience does not mean you're excluding everyone else. It just means that you're tailoring the way you talk about your program so that it can be accessible to the people you want to engage. Sometimes this can even mean having different messages for different audiences. If your audience really is everyone, then create your marketing strategy towards parents or another outside source because it'll help you limit your use of EduSpeak. When in doubt, talk about a program as if your audience has never heard about it before. Now let's talk about some strategies that we can use to reach our audience, starting with using the physical library as a marketing tool. This means displaying your mission, vision, and even your daily objectives so that anyone who comes by the library can see what your students are learning. Draw people in by creating a space that is welcoming and one that students and staffs want to join, even if the reason for coming isn't directly related to literacy. I've heard of great opportunities that libraries have taken to bring students in for contests that don't really have anything to do with books, but they get kids who wouldn't normally be in that space into the school library. And then display student work. Show off the work that students are doing in the library or put on display around the building so that everyone can see what students are working on in your space. Next, be visible in and out of the library. Remember that you're promoting your program just by being at the table. Get involved in committees and leadership teams to give you a chance to talk about your programs and promote collaboration. And don't be shy about telling people what you do. Know your program and tell people about how it supports the school. The next strategy, and my personal favorite, is to tell a story. Stories are memorable because they feel personal. When you have a story with a marketing lens in mind, you can engage your audience on a more personal level. Get others excited about your library program by sharing stories about the positive experience a child may have had in the library, projects that tell a story about the role the library plays in student learning, and real examples of how students are using and building 21st century skills while they're in your media center. Another important strategy is to bring your message to your audience. This could include creating kid-friendly brochures, flyers, or bookmarks with information about accessing resources from home, sending information home to parents about what their students are working on this week, or putting information for teachers in break rooms or staff bathrooms. You can also take advantage of vehicles that already exist, like using the morning announcements to preview a new book or share information about a new program, or posting information in school newsletters, websites, or social media. You can also use county platforms like the Faces of AACPS, which is an online storytelling campaign that invites any employee, student, or community member to share an experience within AACPS. The website for this is www.aacps.org/ACES, and there's lots of great resources there that'll help you share and celebrate what's going on in your school library. Finally, get others engaged with sharing your message. Think about the people that are in the building that students are connected with and tap into those people as resources. You could offer staff recommendations from other people in the school, like classroom teachers, school counselors, or custodians. And you can directly reach out to student populations that you have trouble reaching using targeted programs like a boys' book club or a makerspace club to engage otherwise reluctant audience members. So far, we've covered the importance of leading with your why, how to identify your audience, and some strategies to bring information about your programs to your audience. This is a great place for us to take a break, but I'll see you back here for part two, where we'll discuss how to develop a marketing plan and some quick tips for visual design.